Welcome, everyone, to the Credit Repair Show with your host, the Credit Doctor, Angelo McCutcheon. And today we're going to be talking about or answering the question: what happens to a debt when it is deleted from your credit reports? That is a very standard question. Now, I've been doing credit repair for over 15 years now and helping people repair their credit, get these negative items deleted from their credit report. A lot of people, not everybody, but the majority of people would ask me, okay, now that these items are deleted from my credit report, and shout out to Insta, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. Right. So as you come into the room, you're on Facebook, give us a shout out, give us some thumbs up, give us some hearts. If you're watching it as a replay, do the same thing. To my TikTok people, give us some hearts, give us some likes, whatever you do. If you like the information that we're sharing, make sure you share the video as well. Share the video, Facebook, share the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, likewise, hit that like, share button, hit subscribe, and you know how we do. All right. So like I said, now that people are coming into the room, we're talking about, and this is a very important question that has to be answered when it comes to cleaning up your credit. Right, because a lot of people want their credit cleaned up. They want these negative items deleted from their credit report. If it's reporting inaccurate information or incomplete information, they want that item deleted. Don't you guys want that item deleted from your credit reports? Right. So the question is, if it gets deleted, if I get those items deleted, or if I'm working with a credit repair company and they get those items deleted, the question is, once it's deleted, what happens to the debt? Does it go away? Do I still owe it? Can they still come after me for it? Like, what happens to the debt? I know that it's no longer on my credit report, but is that debt gone? Is it totally gone that I can never look for them trying to collect on that debt again? Well, we're going to answer that question in this show. But first, before we do that, if you're interested in a free credit repair consultation with me, the Credit Doctor, the name of my company, of course, is the Faithful Credit Group, LLC. All you have to do is reach out to me, Facebook, inbox me, YouTube, all my contact information is in the description of this video. TikTok, you could just DM me for more information for a free credit repair consultation over the phone, of course. And we would help you look at your credit reports, give you some advice on how to fix it. And if you want to hire our company to work on your credit, we can talk about that as well. But we do offer a free consultation when it comes to looking at your credit and give you an understanding of how you can actually clean up your credit. All right. So feel free to like, share, give us thumbs up on this, and let's make it happen. All right. So here is what you have to understand about debts that's on your credit report, right? When any debt that you have that goes on your credit report, right? And typically it'll go on there after 30 days of non-payment. If you let 30 days go by of non-payment, it will get reported as a negative item on your credit report. All right. And then you can go 30, 60 days, and when you don't pay it, 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, and they typically charge it off. But I want us to focus on when it first goes into negative status after 30 days of non-payment. Once that hits, it is known as defaulting on a loan. You defaulted on your mortgage, you defaulted on your credit card, you defaulted on your utility bill, anything like that, right? You default on it. Now, once you default on something like that, now there's something that kicks in. Now the creditor can automatically, even though they don't do this, but automatically can now use the remedies to collect on that debt. And typically they can file a lawsuit to collect on that debt. All right, they can file a lawsuit. Now, each state has their own statute of limitation of how long a creditor has to file a lawsuit for a debt. Follow me closely. You got to follow me closely here because I want you to really understand this. So when an account goes into default, which is typically 30 days of non-payment, 30 days, you miss a payment, 30 days has passed and you didn't make a payment, it gets reported on your credit report. Now is known as you defaulted on the loan. Even if you make payments on the next month, the next month, the next month, the first time you default on that payment, the creditor has a remedy. That is, they can actually go to court and file a lawsuit for you to pay that debt. All right. So keep that in mind. The second part of that is they have a specific time period in order to file that lawsuit. You have to know what that statute of limitation is in your state. Now, me being from New Jersey, I know that consumer debt, 6 years a creditor has to file a lawsuit. 6 years from when it first goes into default status. New Jersey they have 6 years to file a lawsuit. Again, whatever state you're in, you have to Google your state for the statute of limitation. If they don't take you to court within that statute of limitation, I'm going to use New Jersey as an example. If 6 years pass and they don't take you to court, or they don't take you to court for that debt, then basically you don't have to pay the debt. They can still try to go after it as far as asking you to pay, but they can't now make you pay through the court because the statute of limitation has passed. All right. So I want you to be very clear on that. This is very important. All right. We're talking about what happens to a debt when it gets deleted from your credit report. Do I still owe it? Does it go away? What happens? So I'm giving you backdrop so you have an understanding that because this is going to be important when I set this up. The reason why I'm setting this up. So when you first go into default on a debt, that creditor, lender, has a certain time period to file a lawsuit against you through the courts to pay on that debt. In New Jersey, for consumer debt, it is 6 years. They have 6 years from the first time it goes into default. Not when you first open the account, but when it first goes into default. For an example, if I open an account in 2019, but the first time I'm ever late, 30 days late, is in 2020. I opened it in 2019. The first time I was late was in 2020. So the statute of limitation is 6 years in New Jersey from 2020, not 19 when I opened it, but when I first went into default. So 2020 to 2026, they can file a lawsuit. All right. If they don't do it by 2026 and I still owe it, then basically that's their fault. They out of luck, whatever the case may be, right? Because then I don't have to pay it, and they don't have the remedy to force me to pay it. All right, but they do have a certain period to file, and again, you have to know what that statute of limitation is in your state. Now, with that backdrop of statute of limitation, then filing a lawsuit, now let's go into your credit reports. Now, when you have negative items on your credit report and they get deleted, hey, Matrice, how you doing? And it gets deleted from your credit report, right? You have a negative item. Let's say you have a Capital One account and it gets deleted from your credit report. With the backdrop of the statute of limitation, understand that now that has been deleted from your credit report because they were reporting inaccurate information or incomplete or unverifiable information. They can no longer report that on your credit report, right? So they can't report it on your credit report, but they still have the right to file a lawsuit for that debt if it's within the statute of limitation in your state. All right. I really want to be clear with this. And if you guys are understanding what I'm saying, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, whatever you want to do. If you're understanding what I'm saying, because this is very important that I do want to take my time so you guys can get it. Yes, you can give me some stars if you want, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Right. So if negative accounts on your credit reports are being deleted from your credit report, it does not mean you don't owe the debt if they believe you owe it, if the lender believes you actually owe it to them. It does not mean you don't owe the debt. It just means that they can no longer report it on your credit report. But the only other method they have to go after that is to file a lawsuit. Now, most creditors don't do that. Typically, they just leave it on your credit report just to punish you. If you pay it, that's great. They may go after you in the beginning, or they may sell it to a debt collector. Most of them, most original creditors will not file a lawsuit against you. But what you need to know is they do have that option. So when you're working with a credit repair company, or you're cleaning up your own credit and you're getting items deleted, that's great because it allows you to build up your credit score and allows you to make moves like purchasing a home or a new car, things like that, because you got those negative items deleted from your credit report. But understand, just because they are deleted does not mean you still don't owe it. A creditor can still go after you for the debt. They can't put it on your credit report no more, but they can go after you for the debt by way of a lawsuit. But they have to do it within the statute of limitation in your state. And again, as a person from New Jersey, 6 years, they have to file a lawsuit. 6 years from the first time it went into dispute. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate that. From the first time it goes into default status. Now, some states it's 2 years, some it's 3, some 5. I know a couple of them is 10 years, right? You have to Google your state. What is the statute of limitation in my state for consumer debt, right? And then you can easily find that out with just Googling. You got a phone, Google it, all right? And you'll find that out. Now, then once you get it deleted from your credit report, the only thing that you, if anything, have to worry about is, will that company go after me for by way of a lawsuit? Like I said, 90% of the times they do not. 10% of the times when they actually sell it to a debt collector, they may go after it, a lawsuit. But some of them goes after it when it's too late, right? And they'll try to go after it anyway, hoping you don't know what the statute of limitation is in your state. All right. Good evening. Good evening. I got someone here as a Facebook user, but your name doesn't come up in the chat room. So if you want to give me your name of who that person who said good evening to me, please do. All right. But welcome to the Credit Repair Show, all of you guys. We're talking about, again, if you're in a position of cleaning up your credit, or you have someone cleaning up your credit. Lala's in the building. Lala's in the building. So if you're working with someone to clean up your credit, or if you're cleaning up your credit on your own and you're getting items deleted, the question always is, okay, what happens? You got the items deleted. What happens now? What happened to this debt? Well, again, they can't put it back on your credit report. The only means now they have to go after you. Now, when I say they can't put it back on your credit report, typically they can't. They themselves can't. Let's say Capital One puts something on your credit report and there's a lot of errors in it, right? Incomplete information, inaccurate information, and you dispute it and it gets deleted. And it gets deleted from your credit report. Typically, Capital One is not going to put it back on there if they don't have the right information. But what they can do is they can sell it to a debt collector, and a debt collector may put it back on your credit report. Now, a lot of times with some of my clients, when they see that, they think that, oh, that Capital One is back on there again. Well, it's not really back on there. It's just that Capital One sold it to somebody else who's trying to collect it on behalf of Capital One now. That's all that is, right? But you can dispute it the same way that you disputed Capital One. And if they don't have the proper documents to support that being on there, guess what? That debt collector is going to get deleted as well, right? So once it gets deleted, what happens? The debt is still out there. The debt is still out there. It's no longer reporting on your credit report, but it's still out there, right? So the next thing is, will they file a lawsuit against me? Again, just from my experience, 90% of the times they will not. The other 10% of the times is usually debt collectors like LVN, LVNV Funding or Portfolio Recovery or Midland Credit Management and a few other companies. If it's over $600 or $1,000, may file a lawsuit, try to file a lawsuit against you for that. All right. And again, they have to do it within the statute of limitation. If they don't do it within the statute of limitation, thanks for sharing, people. Thanks for sharing. If it's not within the statute of limitation, if it's outside the statute of limitation, it has no teeth. It has no teeth whatsoever. All right. And you can basically ignore any attempt that they have to try to collect that debt from you. All right. So keep in mind, just because your things are being deleted, and this is important, credit cards are great. Hello, Doc. How you doing? Thanks for coming in on the live. Thanks for coming in on the live. All right. So again, this is very, thanks for the likes. Appreciate the likes. This is very important information because a lot of people get stuck with this. And a lot of people don't know what happens. They said, and a lot of times when some debt collectors actually file a lawsuit, the person will say, hey, didn't you get this item deleted from my credit report? Didn't you get this item deleted? That they file a lawsuit. That's because they can file a lawsuit, even if the debt is deleted from your credit report. Again, for it to be a legal lawsuit, it has to be within the statute of limitation in your state. It has to be within the statute of limitation within your state. If it's past the statute of limitation, it has no teeth and you do not have to pay it. If it's within the statute of limitation, then you need to watch some of my other videos about how to answer a lawsuit or how to fight a lawsuit, because you have options there. You can go to court and fight it, but make sure you answer the lawsuit, right? You can work out a settlement. You can pay multiple things you can do at that point. But so the point of cleaning up your credit, right, is to get things that are on your credit report that are inaccurate, incomplete, and unverifiable, to get those negative things off of your credit report so your scores can go up and you can make moves. That's the purpose of cleaning up your credit, so that you can make moves. You can buy that home, buy that new car, move into a better apartment, if that's the case. Whatever it takes for you to improve your life, you can make moves with a good credit score, right? Good credit score being 700 and higher. Some people take 650 and higher or 700 and higher. All right. Those are good credit scores, right? And I'm talking about your FICO score, not your Credit Karma score, your FICO score. All right. It's good to know what your FICO score, which means, let me get into that now that we've discussed what happens to your debt when it's deleted from your credit report. And I believe you guys are pretty good with that now, right? If you're pretty good with that, say I'm good. Just say I'm good. I'm good, or just give me some more hearts or whatever good stuff. Right. So now that you understand that, okay, things are being deleted, but there's still a thing where they can file a lawsuit against me. But in my state, like New Jersey, they have to do it within 6 years. Other states, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on what state you're in. All right. Right, good. Yes, credit cards. Credit Karma is great for tracking what's on your credit reports, but forget about the score. You really don't want to focus on their score, because 90% of lenders don't use the Vantage score. They use your FICO score. So that's absolutely true. And so you just use that because it's free. It gives you your Experian and your TransUnion and all that good stuff. No, Matrice, absolutely. So I just have a question here on Facebook, TikTok that says, if the debt is deleted, is it wise to pay it so a debt collector won't put it back? Okay. Number one, you can pay it. I'll never tell anybody not to pay a debt. You can pay it if you want to. I never tell anybody not to pay a debt that they really believe is theirs. All right. But if it's deleted from your credit report because it was inaccurate information was being reported or was unverifiable or incomplete, they may or may not sell it to a debt collector. But just keep in mind, if they sell it to a debt collector has to have the same reasons that an original creditor have for reporting information on your credit report. Right? It has to be 100% accurate. Everything they put on your credit report, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, has to be 100% accurate. If it's not 100% accurate, then you have the right to dispute that information. So if the original creditor don't have accurate information and they sell it to a debt collector, most likely they're not going to have accurate information. So yeah, you might want to fight that with them as well. Right. And a lot of times, so I wouldn't be so quick, to pay it. You can if you want to, just want to get it off your. Some people just want to say, I just want to pay it and get it off. You can do that. By all means, you can do that. But for those who say, well, no, I don't want to pay anything that I really don't have to. If they're reporting inaccurate information, if they say my balance is 5,600, but it's only 4,000 and something, I'm not paying them 5,000 or whatever, things like that. So you want to be able to fight it and make sure that whatever they say you owe or whatever they put on your credit report, it is 100% accurate. All right, it is 100% accurate. All right, so that's a good question, Matrice. A very good question there. So, what was I going to jump into? I was going to jump into what? Was it the FICO score? The Credit Karma score? I was going to jump into something. But I guess it'll come back to me. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We have another question that says, is it true that medical bills can be put on your credit report? Yes, medical bills can be put on your credit report. But here's the good thing about medical bills going forward, and they are probably some of the easiest ones to get deleted because of HIPAA laws and stuff like that. So the new laws that's coming out now, beginning in January or by the end of January, any medical debt that's under $500 will not be reported on your credit report anymore. Going into January of 2023, at least by the end of January, this is what the credit bureau said a few months ago. Any medical bills that's under $500 will not be reported on your credit report anymore. All right. Now, there's some other laws about the medical debts and stuff like that. But medical debts, typically, you can definitely fight those because a lot of times they're violating the law. There's a law that says No Surprise Act, right, that Congress came up with, meaning that when you have medical debt, you go to the hospital and they tell you this is the amount. And then you go home. A few weeks later, you get another bill from the hospital and that you didn't know about, and this could be from a dentist or anything like that, where you're getting a medical bill that falls into the No Surprise Act, and you can fight that, dispute that information when it lands on your credit report. All right, so you can definitely fight that. And so I hope that answers the question. Yes, it can be put on your credit report, but you can definitely dispute it. And if it's under $500 starting in January, by the end of January, it will not be deleted. It will not be reported on your credit reports. All right. Anybody have any other questions? All right. Because I'll answer any questions at this time. But for those of you who are coming on Facebook, YouTube, definitely go back and watch this from the beginning, because we started out talking about what happens to your debt when it's deleted from your credit report. What happens to it? You're welcome. You're welcome, Avon Hopkins. I believe that's the name. What happens to your credit report? When items are deleted, what happens to the debt? And we just explained to you and gave you some very important information that the debt is still out there. It just can't be report. That same creditor cannot report it again on your credit report because they were reporting inaccurate information. Now, there is a time frame. Let's talk about this real quick. Some people say, well, can they put it back on my credit report if they have the right information, if they find the right information? Well, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they have about 15, I believe about 15 to 20 days after it's been deleted. And I'm going to have to look at that. I don't know exactly, but they have a short window of time to actually put it back on your credit report. For instance, if something gets deleted, if Capital One gets deleted on your credit report, but then within, I'm going to say 15 days, they come up with the right information. They can tell the credit bureaus we have the right information. The credit bureaus got to let you know that they found the right information and that it's being reported on your credit report. Outside of that, if it goes beyond 30 days, 20 days, or whatever, they can't put it back on your credit report. So a lot of times they'll just sell it to a debt collector and let them try to go after it. But they have to adhere to the same standards and the same rules. So people say, well, can I fight anything on my credit report? Yes, you can. Any negative item on your credit report that you believe is inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable, if you believe they're putting inaccurate information on your credit report, the law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, says you have the right to dispute that information. And when you dispute that information, the credit bureaus have to do a proper investigation and find out if the creditor has put up or given them information that's 100% accurate. And the law says if it's not, they either have to fix it or they have to delete it from your credit report. All right. So, but you do have the right to dispute anything on your credit report that you feel is inaccurate, that you feel is incomplete, or you believe to be inaccurate. I put it like that. I don't want to use the word feel. Let's say you believe, because you may have evidence contrary to what's being reported. And as a person who've helped people fix their credit, I have seen a lot of inaccurate information being reported on people's credit report. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about. Here's what I wanted to touch on also, and I'll finish talk with this. Right. So here is a way that if you get something deleted, it can also go away forever. There is a way that you can get an item deleted and make it go away forever, no matter what the statute of limitation is in your state. And that's through you filing a lawsuit against the creditor. And I'm going to say you getting a consumer lawyer and the consumer lawyer filing a lawsuit on your behalf because of the inaccurate information. A lot of times when you get with an attorney, a consumer lawyer who's doing the right thing, of course, they can have that item deleted, and within the settlement, they can have it deleted with prejudice, meaning that the person could never go after the debt again. So even if they had 3 years to file a lawsuit, if you have a consumer lawyer who works within the settlement, they agree that they messed up, that the creditor messed up, the debt collector messed up, and they'll put within the settlement, not only are you going to pay my client $1,000, pay our attorney fees of $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, but we want you to never, ever go after this account. Don't sell it to nobody else. Don't go after it anymore. And if that's put into the settlement, that is one of the best ways you can get an item deleted and they never come after you for that debt again. All right. And that's why we work with attorneys. My company, we have access to attorneys. I'm going to say we work with attorneys. We have access to attorneys who looks over our clients' credit reports and get major violations and see major violations that they file lawsuits. And I've been working with them for different attorneys now for five years now. And we've had debt collectors pay out over $200,000 total amount to our clients, individual clients, meaning that some of our clients got checks for 500, 1,000, 300, 800, 900, 2 checks, 3 checks, 1 check, right? And in most of those cases, the attorneys will put in there that you can no longer go after the debt. So that's important for you to understand. Outside of that, have an attorney put within the settlement agreement that they can no longer go after the debt, then they have the statute of limitation left over for them to go after something. All right. So I hope what we talked about helps you guys. I appreciate all the likes, appreciate all the thumbs up. Like I said, if you're interested in a free over the phone consultation with me, the credit doctor from the Faithful Credit Group, Facebook, all you got to do is inbox me and say, I want more information. YouTube, you know what it is. Go into the descriptions. You can find my email. You can find my Facebook group. You can find my IG, all that good stuff. And you can reach me and say, hey, I've been watching your videos on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok, and I would like a free over the phone consultation with you. TikTok, you can just DM me and say, I would like a free over the phone consultation. All right. So keep that in mind. I appreciate you guys. Unfortunately, was not taking any live invites today on TikTok. We'll do that another day. Just want to make sure I get this information out because it was important. I didn't want to be distracted, but if you had any questions, I would take that, but didn't want to be distracted from what I wanted to talk about on today. So I appreciate you guys, everybody. You know, we always say stay blessed. Whatever you do, stay blessed. But what's even more important is that you guys are a blessing